Hello everyone. Today I'm going to be working on a 2014 Honda Accord. This is a sport model. It has a 2.4 liter engine. It's got about 100,000 miles, so I'm going to do a 100,000 mile tune-up. So for the tune-up, I'm going to change the oil, do a cabin air filter. It probably never been replaced. I'm going to do an engine air filter, replace 4 spark plugs, fuel system treatment. I'm going to clean the throttle body out, replace the serpentine belt, and I am going to inspect the PCV valve, possibly replace that. The car has had a transmission fluid change recently, so I'm not going to do that. And I will inspect the coolant system, possibly flush that, but I won't do that in this video. We'll start out with the engine air filter. It's a simple job. There's 3 tabs. Just pull back on these tabs. One on the back side. And you slide it back out of these 2 holders. Doesn't look bad on the front side and the back side. It's definitely seen some better days. Clean this out. And then drop the new air filter in. Oops. Put the tabs in the front. Okay, now lock these 3 retaining clips in. And that's all it is for the air filter. Now I'm going to move on to replacing the spark plugs. And to do that, I need to remove this cover. And there's 5 10mm bolts that I'll remove. Three, 4. Alright, so I've got the 5 bolts done. I'll remove this, set it to the side. Now I have access to the ignition coils. I'll remove each one of these bolts. Pull the ignition coil off. It's also a 10mm. So now I can pull the coil up. Looks like I may have to disconnect this electrical connector. You just press down the back tab and then slide it up. So there's the ignition coil. Now I have access to the spark plug. I've got a spark plug socket. It's got a swivel head. Don't need a swivel head in this case, but the long extension, the magnetic tip is nice. Long threads. All right, so there's the spark plugs that I'm removing. Going back with some Iridium plugs. Gap is preset, so just dropping it back in place. And then I'll tighten it down. Put the spark plug boot, the ignition coil back on. Okay. disconnect the electrical. All right, now put the bolt back on. Tighten that bolt up, and then I'll repeat the process for the remaining three spark plugs. Okay, so I've got got the last spark plug in. I'm gonna tighten it, and I'm using this is a 14mm spark plug socket. So got it in. Now just tighten it. All right. Put that ignition coil in. Reconnect this. The bolt in, and do a spark plug. 4 spark plugs in. It's a pretty easy job. It took maybe 5 minutes to do this, so not bad at all. Okay, so now I'm gonna look at the PCV valve. That's also a 10mm nut. It's this red cap back here is where the PCV valve is. Oh, it's a bolt. So 10mm bolt to access it. I've got a long extension. All right, so remove that bolt. The PCV valve, it should slide out now. All right, I'll have to get a screwdriver. Oh, no, I can. There we go. All right, so that's PCV valve. Okay, so I got a little carburetor choke cleaner. I'm just cleaning this valve out. Get a little bit of dark fluid at first. This is pulling off the products of combustion. Then in the fluid, the spray becomes clear. So write this down. All right, I'll reinstall it now. All right, so I got the clean PCV valve. I'll reinstall it, just slide it back in place. Rotate that red piece so it aligns with the bolt hole, and then reinstall the bolt and use my 10mm socket to tighten it up. All right. So now we're accessing the throttle body. There's a couple of clamps. We're just removing access, or moving those hoses to get access for that. And then we've got a socket that's, let's see what size this is. This is a 5.5mm socket. And if you come around, you can see that there's a bolt right there that I've already unloosened, and that will slide the throttle body inlet away from the throttle body. Okay, so I got that nut undone. We got it unclamped now. We got a crowbar, and we're just gonna slide this cover off the throttle body. Nice, so we got access to the throttle body. Now, I'm gonna spray some throttle body cleaner in there and wipe the inlet. All right, I'm spraying some throttle body cleaner in there. Now I'm gonna wipe it down, get a rag. Just kind of cleaning this up. Now there's the throttle body itself, and I'll rotate it, make sure that cleaner gets in there. It's kind of hard to pick up on the camera, but if you come at an angle right there, you may be able to see the throttle body plate. It actually looks pretty clean. I'm not getting much, so that's a good sign. All right, so just line it back up and then just kind of wiggle it, and it should slide back on. Wait a second, go 3, 2, 1. Just snugging that hose up now. Okay, good, we got it. So that's it to clean the throttle body.
Okay, now we're changing out the cabin air filter.
It's got tabs on the side. This one latch. Door comes off. All right, now pull out the cabin air filter. All right, that's what it looks like after 100,000 miles. A few bugs in there. Otherwise, it's not too bad. Here's the new, so the important thing is the airflow is going up. So you want to match that. So this new one, you want to match the airflow going up. So you slide it back in place. Put the door on. And it's got two little latches on the side. Two latches on this, or two little holders on the side of the glove box, and this one on the right side. And that's all there is to it. Okay, so now I'm gonna be working on the serpentine belt. I've got my serpentine wrench, and I've got it on the tensioner. This is a tensioner, and where I have my bolt is the tensioner release. So just pull back on the release and then slide the belt off. Okay. All right, so this is the old one, and just looking at it, still a few cracks in it, but we'll still, it looks like it's still a pretty good shape. There's some wear marks on the outside, and then this is the new one. Okay. And the belt.
Yep. Is that good?
About a little bit more. Okay.
Good.
Now give me a little slack, because I'm. All right, so we got the belt, old one off. We got the new one on, and just I had to go underneath the vehicle and line it up on the bottom to get it. Now we got it in place. Well, everything looks good with that.
Okay, so the last thing that we're gonna do now is change the oil in the oil filter and clear the oil reset light.